Good morning, everyone. All right. So today morning we are going to start with the the last module of Salesforce Classic training, and that's integrations. So far we have completed with the admin part, thereafter development, deployment, and now we are going to start with the last module of Classic training, Salesforce Classic training, and that is integrations. So first of all, let me try to introduce what does it means by the integration, what are the different forms of integrations in the Salesforce. See, when we say integrations, it actually means connecting the Salesforce environment with some of the external environments. Connecting Salesforce with some of the external environments. Some of the external applications, some of the external websites, or similar kind of things. Could be an ERP system, could also be a CRM system, could simply be a web service. It could simply be a normal application, it could be anything. We usually have a terminology for all of them. We call them as a third-party application. Third-party application. TPA. Third-party application. So for any kind of external application, whether that application is a web service, that application is an ERP system, that application is a CRM system, or it could be any of the type. It could also be a database system like Oracle SQL, PLSQL, MongoDB. Whatever the external system is, we have a terminology for all of them and we call them as third-party application. Yeah, third-party system bhi kaha jata hai. And there are a lot of the need of real time whenever we require to connect the Salesforce, we require to connect the Salesforce with such a kind of third-party applications. See, although the Salesforce is what to say, I mean, I'm not getting that proper word to describe, but what I wanted to explain is like, Salesforce is somehow a self-sufficient kind of CRM application. It can provide you almost every type of facilities that usually, I mean, there are a lot of other CRMs as well, but they don't provide this. So Salesforce is a kind of self-sufficient application. Salesforce is a self-sufficient CRM application rather, which can provide an N number of functionalities. There are a lot of functionalities, there are a lot of deliverables which Salesforce can provide you. And we have learned lot many of them. There are still so many areas of the Salesforce where gradually you would require, to study or on those kinds of things. So whether it is about deployment, whether it is about development, whether it is about testing, whether it is about customizations of the products, Salesforce is enough to provide the solutionings for any of such a kind of thing. But then, see, even though Salesforce provide a wide functionalities, a wide area of functionalities, it covers what to say, a very broad spectrums of the functionalities. But still, Salesforce provide an open integration platform. That means if there is something which Salesforce usually is not providing, but in that application, if you wanted to integrate those things, and maybe some another application, by the way, is providing that, Salesforce is open for all sort of integrations. That means you can literally connect, almost every kind of application, external application with the Salesforce. If that application is open for integration, Salesforce is also open. So basically, I just try to relate a few of real-time examples where we were using the integration. Maybe we were not realizing that, but we were getting that functionalities. We were getting those functionalities rather from the integrations. The most common example, which I guess every one of us is using today, and which actually, which completely depends on integrations, is online payment system. Is online payment system. I guess every one of us is probably using some sort of like GPay, Google Pay. You are using Phone Pay, or maybe some other application if you are using, or maybe if you are using the applications provided to you from your uh, banking branch, wherever, whatever the bank you are using. I mean, you're having the account over there, and they still have their own applications, right? But in my opinion, right, uh, we are next generations. We are next generation kids, so we know like how securely, uh, how safely we can use the online payment system, the online banking systems, right? We can use. This is the best example, I guess, to describe the daily, I mean, the integration that we use with our daily bread and butters. Every online payment system is 100% integrated, and it is integrated with the servers, bank servers. It is integrated with payment gateway systems like Google Pays, like Phone Pays, or there are so many new, I mean, like Airtel has started their own something called as Airtel Money. Jio has also started. So mobile network, they are also, you know, trying to provide certain applications to their existing user, that we wanted to extend our facilities what we are right now providing from our application. Now we wanted to announce that apart from managing your mobile network related things, you can also do the payments from this, right? Amazon Pay is there. So there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of organizations which right now is providing a payment gateway solution. Now this facility is fully integrated. This facility is fully integrated. So whenever, if you are initiating any payment, either you are transferring it to somebody's else account, or maybe you're getting it from someone else. That whole transactions, whatever is going on around that, is fully secured, and it is fully integrated. It is fully integrated. That means there is a system usually called as payment gateway servers. Whenever you initiate any payment sort of transaction, that is first of all is being authenticated with a lot many processes out there. Still people says that online banking is not secure. It completely is an human error. If certain fraud has been happening, and it's happening around, it's all happening because, and this was, and very interestingly, this has been asked to me in my IELTS exam. Probably you guys know that the last month I have given that. Although I haven't scored that much of the point, I was requiring 9 pointer, I got 6.5. So I would require to work hard into that. Maybe around December, I'm going to reattempt that. So there's a round called speaking round, and it's usually have three, it's being bifurcated into three different sections. So in the last section of speaking round, they used to give us a topic, and they wanted us to describe that. Later on, they would start asking the question. So I mean, the topic which that instructor, that exam taker has given me, was the online banking system, and they tried to make it relevant to your portfolio, because they again wanted you to speak on that, right? They would never give you a topic which is apart from something which you cannot immediately, your thought process wouldn't work on. They always try to make it relevant. So while my introduction, I introduce her like I'm a computer engineer. I have been graduated in this and that. Right now, I'm working with this company, and this is my overall experience and also. So, no, she got an idea that this person is a technocrat person. It's a technically geek person. So yeah, she could ask something me related to technology. So she was asking me this question, like what do you, I mean, in what sense do you think that the online banking system, is it safe to everyone in the country or not? So I have described her like it all depends, whenever something happens, it happens all because of the human error. Because the trafficking which is going on, they certainly would require something from your end, right? Unless you wouldn't share those credentials, maybe that could be an OTP one-time password, that could be your online banking passwords and everything. So this security is only compromised unless you have shared something to them. Maybe you have logged in a wrong portal. And people are so smart. These hackers, they are, they are really, really smart guys, right? And of course, yeah, I mean, it's difficult for a common man to remain, sometimes even people like us, those who are technically strong, they even fell into these kind of traps because they always try to change their way. But you have to be very cautious, understand. You always have to trust with I mean, related to online payment system, you always have to trust with the branded kind of gateway solutions. What I was describing, I just lost my I just lost my track. Let me come back onto this. So basically, guys, there are a lot of examples in our daily life, in our daily routines. We are doing that with help of some sort of integrations, but we never realize, and we thought that this is the one whole application which is doing this for you. For example, if you start thinking like Google Pay or maybe a phone pay, is that application which is doing this all. This could be, if somebody who's not a technical person, if he has this thought about Google Pay and phone pay, that seems to be okay for him. And let's make life simple for our clients. It's always, I mean, it's always should be like, computer engineer should always understand everything, but whenever he's presenting something to the client, it should always be in a language, in a way that becomes simple to understand for everyone in the room. So basically, yes, if they start thinking like this, it's okay. But for us, it is just a solution, a payment gateway solution, which actually, if you would try to request anything, I mean, whatever that application can do related to the payment transaction, like it can receive the money, it can transfer the money, it can show you how much balance you have in your account, or it can do certain other kind of things. Whatever it does, I mean, it do with your payment banking system, that everything is integrated. That means, well, let's say, for example, if you scan a QR and you start initiating a payment, so it would initially, it would immediately generate something called as token. Token is a request with lot of the parameters. Now that token immediately goes to your bank server, the one which you have selected as a primary payment, right? Maybe if you are having 5 accounts, you have selected one of them as the primary account. So that token immediately goes to the particular banking system. The banking will authenticate that, and it comes back. Yeah, we are agreed to. I mean, this person is agreed to do this transaction. Moreover, he is having that much of the balance in the account so that he could make this payment. You might have seen, like, if you don't have that much of the balance, if your account, for example, having 200 and you're trying to make the payment of 300, immediately there's a message, there's an error log that comes immediately from the bank, insufficient balance, right? So this whole system is going on in the back end. What we see is just the outcome of this. So that is one of the good example where we use the integration in our daily life. I'll try to, I'll try to show you something with the map API. This is just an example, and we're going to integrate. Integration is going to be very interesting unless you have that feelings with for this. Otherwise, अगर आप ऐसे सुनी सुनाई बातों पे अगर आप ज्यादा भरोसा करते हो रादर अपने नॉलेज के ऊपर, तो लोगों ने ऐसी अफवाह फैला रखी है कि इंटीग्रेशन बहुत टफ होता है, इंटीग्रेशन बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। मेरा ओपिनियन तो ये है कि इंटीग्रेशन सबसे आज तक जितना कुछ आपने पढ़ा है उसमें, एक तो मुझे एडमिन बहुत अच्छा लगता है, विदाउट डूइंग कोडिंग, एफर्टलेस, एंड वी कैन कॉन्फ़िगर अ लॉट मेनी थिंग्स टू सीआरएम। एक तो मुझे वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है, और दूसरा फिर मुझे अगर कोडिंग में कुछ अच्छा लगता है तो वो है इंटीग्रेशन, बिकॉज रियल टाइम थिंग होती है, रियल टाइम रिस्पॉन्सेस मिलते हैं। तो अगर आप मतलब अगर आप वो फील करो तो इंटीग्रेशन जो है ना वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, एक्चुअली बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। एनीवेज, एक ओपन वेदर मैप एक एप्लीकेशन है, ऐसे हम लोग इंटीग्रेट करेंगे भी इनफैक्ट। नाउ दिस एप्लीकेशन इज इवन केपेबल, you know, to give you the what to say, the weather forecasting. Now, see, this is again a feature inside in almost everyone's mobile phone, isn't it? वेदर फोरकास्टिंग। हाँ, इसके लिए आप, हाँ, मैं ये नहीं कहता कि ओपन वेदर मैप यूज होता है, बट देयर आर अ लॉट मेनी फोरकास्टिंग servers are there, and to provide that seamless experience to the clients, mobile network has integrated that, I mean, on behalf of you, on behalf, for example, if you have the Airtel connection, you have Vodafone connection, whatever the mobile connection you are having, right? So on behalf of you, they have paid an amount to those server systems, and they are getting that. Let me try to let me just this website keeps updating. So every time when I come over here, I see something different. So they are, they are getting this weather forecasting for you for your current locations, which usually you see on your mobile phone, right? And what we understand, this is a feature of my mobile. No, it's not. It's not. There is an application which is getting integrated, and it's exchanging the parameters and showing you onto the screen that नागपुर में आज जम के बारिश होने वाली है, आज धूप रहने वाली है. So I'll just try to show you something from here. Mm-hmm. Build API request by name. Yeah, I guess this is what I was looking for. Uh, uh, Now, what is going to be happen would be if I can show you the responses. If it have, oh, let me try with something else. I'm going to show you. Don't worry. This is core integration. We would require to integrate a lot many parameters to get, but we are going to do that. So don't worry. I would be showing you the final outcome of that as well. Let me try with another example. This is again one of the API. Typically, somebody has developed this. Somebody has created, or maybe I'm not sure whether this is a government type of API or what. So what happens is like, if you would enter your PIN code, like mine is 440024. If I would enter that, it's going to give the details of that PIN code. Like 440024 ये अयोध्या नगर दिगोरी नाका, मुझे तो लगता था सिर्फ ये अयोध्या नगर का है, बट फिर बाद में व्हेन आई एंटर्ड दिस तब मुझे पता चला कि 440024 हमारे यहाँ डिगोरी, हनुमान नगर, मानेवाड़ा नगर और राजे रघुजी नगर, इन सब का ये. So this application is like, you can see it's a real-time application, right? It's a real-time application. So whatever the input you would going to give accordingly, it would generate a response. It would generate a response. Now, this is a real-time thing, isn't it? And whatever I'm doing is I'm doing this directly on internet. I'm doing directly this on the internet, on the web, isn't it? Now we would going to build up certain applications where, from the Salesforce, what is going to be happen? I would just let you know what we are trying to do with this. I would build up an application in such a way, like, ये हमारा Salesforce है, and then that Salesforce, from the Salesforce, we are going to integrate this. हम इस application को integrate करेंगे, and then we would be supplying that pin code. एक example दे रहा हूँ मैं. I'm just trying to give you an example कि हम किस तरह से आगे बढ़ने वाले. For example, we would going to send this pin code from the Salesforce. अब इसको जब वो पिन कोड मिलेगा तो दिस रिस्पॉन्स व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग राइट नाउ, ये जो रिस्पॉन्स आप देख रहे हो, ये जेसन रिस्पॉन्स है. व्हाट इज जेसन एंड एवरीथिंग, वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न दैट एवरी, डोंट वरी, वी वुड बी लर्निंग दिस एवरीथिंग. वो रिस्पॉन्स हम यहाँ से वापस आएगा, दैट वी आर अगेन गोइंग टू कलेक्ट इनसाइड सेल्सफोर्स, और फिर हम उसको यहाँ पे प्रॉपर तरीके से वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्प्ले दैट इनसाइड द सेल्सफोर्स. तो इस तरह से कुछ रहने वाला है जो हम करने वाले हैं. ठीक है. अब ये जो दिख रहा है आपको, दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ समथिंग व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज JSON response, JavaScript object notation. So we're going to work on to that as well. I was just trying to make you understand that there are a lot many things, there are a lot of applications that functionality directly is not possible inside in the Salesforce. But then if that thing is not, if that functionality is not, the Salesforce is not capable to provide that functionality directly. Salesforce actually has a functionality called as integration. You could integrate and you could get it from the external sources as well. So that is what we are going to learn, guys. Right? How many different forms of integrations are there? There are again two forms. You can do the integration without writing a code. That is called as declarative integration, which is again in the beta version, which is very limited. The scope of declarative integration is very limited. But then there is something called as programmatic integrations, where you have to write down a code. We would create something called as a class, rather, but that class is called as application program interfaces, API, or web services. Web services. So this is the most promising way to do the integration because it is supported almost by every system, right? Declarative integration, which is I can say that Salesforce is the you have you have understood it. You have observed this, not understood. You have observed this. A Salesforce is a kind of technology rather, which is trying to what to say, which is trying to make it simple for every one of them to understand. And see, we got this idea from day one when you come to me and when I was describing this technology, I told you, see, 50% of the Salesforce, right? In the entire product development, 50% of the portion would be non-coding. And the rest 50% you have to code. But that depends on the complexity of your application, complexity of requirement. If it's a very complicated requirement, the portion of coding would again going to be increased. And vice versa, if it is a light-weighted CRM, whatever you have to develop with the basic functionalities of CRM, and it does not demand anything extra to that, it does not wanted you to add any fashion symbols over there. In that case, the entire thing could be developed without writing a single line of code. Salesforce is that technology. It's a mixture of coding as well as non-coding. So see, we somehow, we realize that, day one itself that Salesforce is trying to provide the solutions without writing a code. And what is the outcome of this? आज आप सोचिए, आप खुद सोचिए, थोड़ा सा सोचिए. आज Salesforce में कोई भी व्यक्ति आके, he can become a developer, he can become a software engineer, particularly for the Salesforce. कोई पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था. पहले there was a common thing. If you wanted to become a software, if you wanted to rather work for a company, an IT company, so you have to be somebody who is technically strong in terms of programming. Maybe your graduation, post graduation was related into computers. Might be you are a computer engineer, or फिर जैसे हमारे यहाँ होता है BCA होता है, MCA होता है, and then BSc in computers. I heard there is something. Maybe commerce also have some streams, which is I'm not sure what is the name of that, but yeah, there must be you must be a person who has studied computers as a subject, maybe in minors or majors. Then you can come into this. But अभी देखो ना, with this technology, Salesforce, with this technology, there is no such kind of limitations. Anyone can work over here. Anyone. और आप खुद अपने आप से देखो, यहाँ इतने सारे लोग हैं. आप में से काफी सारे लोग जो हैं, they might be learning the computers for or anything related to software for the first time with this technology only. And still you are understanding, you are capable to develop the application. Why? Because technology itself is like this. तो Salesforce कैसा है ना कि Salesforce is trying to convert what to say. I mean, whatever could be done with the program, whatever could be done with the coding, they are just trying to convert it with certain tools so that everybody could work. Because coding, when we say coding can be done only by those persons, only a very limited set of group of people who will be there, those who have an understanding of that. But there would be a lot many rather when we compare who's opposite to them. So the gang which is sitting opposite to the coders, they have majority. There are a lot many people, there are a lot many persons, those who either is not comfortable or they simply don't know how to code. But if even they are capable to develop something, there would be, Salesforce would have Salesforce in that case would have resources of almost everything, which is obviously good for them. तो ये एक ऐसा मतलब एक मैं तो कहता हूँ कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी में एक तरह का रेवोल्यूशन है। मैं 99 से मैंने and I have started my career in computers. I 99 or 2000 मैं भूल गया, but it's almost 23 years has gone when I started started studying the computers. 2000 I guess I have taken the admission in Polytechnic or 99 मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, 2000 ही पकड़ लीजिए. So I have taken that computer branch that time. And that was not a choice, I'm saying you. That time computer, when you wanted to become an engineer, engineer सिर्फ एक दो ही लोग होते थे उस वक्त. एक होता था सिविल इंजीनियर. मूवीज में इंजीनियर के एक ऐसी इमेज बताई गई थी कि इंजीनियर साहब मतलब somebody who creates the dam, somebody who built the dam, built the roads, and he's continuously involved in all sort of construction. भाई वो होता है इंजीनियर, उसके सर पे एक पीली कलर की कैप रहती है और वो नक्शे वक्शे लेके बैठा रहता है, लोगों को समझाता है. दैट गाय. फिर उसके बाद में शशि कपूर साहब की एक पिक्चर है काला पत्थर, तुम लोगों ने देखी नहीं देखी, अमिताभ बच्चन है, बहुत जबरदस्त मूवी है. उसमें बता इंजीनियर साहब कौन है, हम माइनिंग इंजीनियर. वो बता रहा है उसके आगे गड्ढा मत खोदो, बहुत पानी भरा हुआ है वहां पे, स्टिल गड्ढा खोदते हैं, लोग मर जाते हैं. तो वो इंजीनियर साहब है, ही ऑलरेडी हैड दैट प्रोटेक्शन. फिर मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स आते हैं. बर्निंग ट्रेन वाज द मूवी. आई एम नॉट श्योर यू गाइस वॉच दिस ऑल. बर्निंग ट्रेन वाज अ मूवी. डैनी. डैनी इज अ वेरी गुड एक्टर. He designed that whole product, but then later, all because of the politics, he has been kicked out of that project. So as to take the revenge, he built up such a kind of system that if train goes beyond the speed, there would be, I guess he used certain types of, what to say, that bombing system or what. But the train started burning, and if somebody would rather try to control that with the braking, there's another blast that would go on. A highly configured bombing system. Done by whom? Danny. What was Danny? Who was Danny? Danny was a mechanical engineer. So there was an image. There was an image for the engineers. And when you say somebody, I am a computer engineer, oh, what? What? Computer engineer? तो एक दौर ऐसा भी था. When you say, yeah, I'm doing engineering, they consider either you are a mechanical, civil, or maybe a mining engineer. But there was no terminology called as computer engineer. When you say, अरे computer में भी कोई engineering करता है क्या? What we are going to do in computers? It's just like a box. Because if you are a mining engineer, you can dig out the holes under the ground and you can extract things like you can extract gold or metal or simple कुछ नहीं तो कोयला तो निकाल के लाओगे. सिविल इंजीनियर हो तो कुछ तो बनाओगे. Isn't it? So for everyone's profession, there was an image. There was no image. There was no image for a computer engineer that time. But things changes, and this is what is the best part of the time. Time always used to change. आज एक ऐसा वक्त आ चुका है कि when every one of us is motivated towards IT. So either that engineering ke sare branches there. I mean, IT is absolutely open for every one of them. Even for the person, those who are from non-engineering background, they are happily, they are happily migrating and they are getting good packages in the IT. So, that is what is happens. Trends changes, requirement changes. So in software, even the technology which fulfill everything is going to survive. Otherwise, it's going to be it's going to be get decommissions from the technology market automatically. So integrations like Salesforce is trying to build up a tool, something called as MuleSoft. Like see, for deployment, you have studied chain sets. मैंने आपको deployment करना सिखाया है, उसकी सारी सारी बातें सीखी हमने. सैंडबॉक्स क्या होता है, कैसे बनता है, सैंडबॉक्स डिप्लॉयमेंट क्या होता है, सैंडबॉक्स टू प्रोडक्शन डिप्लॉयमेंट क्या होता है, प्री डिप्लॉयमेंट, पोस्ट डिप्लॉयमेंट, कौन कौन सी प्रैक्टिसेस रन करना चाहिए, what are some of the good practices that needs to be get followed, the best practices of deployments. We have studied a lot, many discussions was happened around this all, right? तो डिप्लॉयमेंट के लिए हालांकि चेन सेट्स was already a tool, but then Salesforce have created something called as Copado. Copado. So Copado is highly configured deployment tools. उसी तरह MuleSoft is one of the product of Salesforce. जैसे Copado initially DevOps का extracted tool है. DevOps is another technology, by the way. Developer operations DevOps इसको बोलते हैं. That is an another technology. उससे एक्सट्रैक्टेड टूल है कोपाडो. मतलब जितना हमको चाहिए उतना ही हम लेंगे. और बिकॉज डेवऑप्स इज अ वेरी बिग थिंग, बट वी डज नॉट सर्टेनली वी डज नॉट रिक्वायर, we do not require that much of functionality. So whatever we require out of them, we would just take those functionalities, created our own tool, and we're going to name it as a Copado. Now, in the same way, MuleSoft is also one of the tool, which was very popular, which is very popular. I mean, that time, which was very popular for the integration. MuleSoft can provide literally a platform by which you can integrate one application with another application, and you certainly wouldn't require to write down any code. Now, Salesforce was very impressed with this. And this was something which even Salesforce is motivated to do. खूब जमेगा रंग जब मिल बैठेंगे दो यार, है ना? So Salesforce was even motivated to try to provide customized solutions for everything. MuleSoft was doing this. दोनों कहीं पार्टी में मिल गए. ठीक है, मैं तो ये करता हूँ भाई, मैं तो इंटीग्रेशन करवा देता हूँ. MuleSoft कह रहा है मैं तो इंटीग्रेशन करवा देता हूँ बिना कोड लिखे. बस मेरे को दो प्लेटफॉर्म्स के नाम दो, मैं अपने तरीके से कर लूंगा. सेल्सफोर्स बोले भाई मैं भी ऐसे ही कुछ सोच रहा हूँ, तो ठीक है चलो साथ में बैठ जाते हैं ना. सेल्सफोर्स हैज यू नो म्यूलसॉफ्ट, सेल्सफोर्स का बहुत पुराना रिकॉर्ड है. जब उसे कोई चीज अच्छी लगती है वो उसको टेक ओवर कर लेता है. हमने ये पहले भी पढ़ा है. द एंटायर मार्केटिंग क्लाउड वाज डेवलप्ड, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग. जब सेल्सफोर्स स्टार्ट हुआ था, सेल्स क्लाउड और सर्विस क्लाउड के साथ स्टार्ट हुआ था. बट लेटर ऑन उन्होंने मार्केटिंग क्लाउड लाया. कैसे लाया? सो मार्केटिंग क्लाउड की हिस्ट्री मैंने आपको बताई है. मार्केटिंग क्लाउड जो था, you know, that was not developed, that was rather it was being, उसको टेक ओवर किया था सेल्सफोर्स ने. तो इन द सेम वे म्यूलसॉफ्ट को टेक ओवर कर लिया. नाउ सेल्सफोर्स इज डेवलपिंग देयर ओन कस्टमाइज सोल्यूशन विच एक्चुअली इज देयर, है अभी भी है. म्यूलसॉफ्ट कई जगह यूज होता है. उसका बैंडविड्थ थोड़ा सा लिमिटेड है. मतलब दे आर कंटिन्यूसली, तीन चार एरियाज में बताता हूँ सेल्सफोर्स की जहाँ कंटिन्यूसली काम चालू भी है अभी. I mean, they are getting improved day by day, month by month, year by year. जैसे है LWC, Lightning Web Component, they are continuously getting improved. उसके बाद MuleSoft, ठीक है. उसके बाद CPQ, Cost Price, Cost CPQ, I just Cost Price and Quantity or Cost, I mean Quantity, I guess if I'm not wrong. So CPQ is also getting expanded. Velocity हो गया है. तो ये कुछ ऐसे एरिया है सेल्सफोर्स के जिसपे अभी भी चल रहा है. दे आर कंटिन्यूसली ट्राइंग टू एक्सपैंड द bandwidth, the spectrum of the functionalities. The MuleSoft is one of the tool which which Salesforce has taken over, and he's trying to develop that. अभी भी काम कर रहा है, but I guess that is a beta version. And with the MuleSoft, you can integrate two separate platforms. One would be Salesforce, other would be something else, and you don't have to write down the codes for that. So that is something which is going on around. Otherwise, जो हम start करने वाले हैं, that would be programmatic integrations, where we are going to create such a classes, web service classes, API classes, by which we are going to integrate the Salesforce with other applications. So this is what is a plan of this month, maybe plan of next 15 to 20 days. You go with all these theoretical things, what is the benefit, and right, go with everything of them. I would take a small topic by today, tomorrow. That would be Salesforce to Salesforce integration. Just what to say, one simple example of non-coding things, like how you can integrate two different environments without writing a code. So there is a small topic, a very small topic, just one day topic, and you would just require to follow this step. ये सारी steps follow करनी पड़ती हैं और कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है. तो it's a step by step approach by which you can connect one Salesforce environment to another Salesforce. All right. So this would give you a glimpse, this would give you a glimpse of like कि अगर इंटीग्रेशन विदाउट कोडिंग होता तो वो कैसा दिखता. जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ म्यूल सॉफ्ट इज एंटायरली टूल. अभी आप म्यूल सॉफ्ट में नहीं दिखा जा सकते, मैं भी नहीं जा सकता, बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव लाइसेंस ऑफ दैट. तो फिर हम उसको कैसे इमेजिन कर सकते हैं, तो उसका कल एक एग्जांपल हम देख लेंगे. जब हम सेल्सफोर्स हैव दिस फंक्शनैलिटी कि आप एक सेल्सफोर्स एनवायरनमेंट को दूसरे सेल्सफोर्स एनवायरनमेंट के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, एंड यू कैन एक्सचेंज द रिकॉर्ड्स बिटवीन देम विदाउट राइटिंग अ कोड. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सेल्सफोर्स टू सेल्सफोर्स इंटीग्रेशन. ठीक है. ये जस्ट एक एग्जांपल रहेगा छोटा सा, उसके बाद में बहुत कुछ हमें पढ़ना है. बट यू वोंट बिलीव मेरे पास अभी कुछ 15-20 दिन पहले की बात है। आ, मतलब कुछ लड़के मिलने आए, एंड देन दे वर आस्किंग अस कि आप हमारा पोस्ट एक्टिविटी में आप हमको इनरोल कीजिए। पोस्ट एक्टिविटी इज अ काइंड ऑफ थिंग जहाँ पे जैसे हमने अगर मान के चलो, मैं अभी आप लोग तो मेरे पास ट्रेनिंग हो रही हो, तो आपका तो पूरा मेंटरशिप एंड मॉक्स एंड एवरीथिंग वी यूज टू टेक इट ऑन आवर शोल्डर। बट जैसे किसी का नहीं होता है, तो वो आता है, तो देन आई आस्क्ड हिम कि आई मीन मैं ऐसे किसी को भी नहीं पोस्ट एक्टिविटी लेता, बिकॉज कैसा है यार, किसी और से किया हुआ ट्रेनिंग है, उसको कितना आता नहीं आता। तो आई ऑलवेज टेक एन इवेल्युएशन कॉल विद देम। मैंने उनको थोड़ा सा इवेल्युएट किया, एंड देन आई आस्क्ड हिम। पहले तो मैंने मोटा मोटा पूछा कि व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट यू नो अबाउट द सेल्स फोर्स, डू यू नो दिस, डू यू नो दिस, ऑलराइट। तो देन व्हेन आई केम टू दिस टॉपिक इंटीग्रेशन, तो मैंने कहा आपका इंटीग्रेशन हुआ है, तो दे सेड टू मी यस ऑफ कोर्स। तो मैंने कहा आपने क्या पढ़ा है उसमें, व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट यू हैव स्टडीड। So they told me that, sir, we know how we can connect the Salesforce to another Salesforce. मैंने कहा okay, that's good. And beyond that, and they said no, sir. Beyond that, there's nothing. मैंने बोला मतलब आपको सिर्फ इतना ही आता है क्या? And what do you know about integration? So they said integration means how to connect Salesforce to another Salesforce. That is what it is called as integration. तो देखो कैसा है, जैसे अभी this terminology is new to you. The person who was giving training to them knows everything, but he haven't delivered that. अभी इनकी कोई गलती नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इनको बताया नहीं गया, तो दे थॉट दे हैव एन, आई मीन दे हैव दिस इंप्रेशन इन देयर माइंड कि दैट इंटीग्रेशन मींस कनेक्टिंग वन सेल्सफोर्स टू अनदर सेल्सफोर्स, दैट्स इट, दैट इज व्हाट इज एन इंटीग्रेशन। मैंने कहा नहीं रे बाबा, वो तो जस्ट एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल है, इंटीग्रेशन इज फार बियॉन्ड दैट। डू यू नो व्हाट इज रेस्ट एपीआई? दे सेड नो। Do you know what is a JSON format? They said no. Do you know what is an OAuth authentication process? They said no. Do you know what is a web service? No. Inbound, outbound? No. तो सिंपल बात कैसी है, देर इज लाइक I am going to use that word scam obviously for this, because the people, those who are doing this, they are really scammers. They are taking money from them, and they are not providing the training in a way which actually, people like this, they are going to get the job out of that training, out of that knowledge. It's very insufficient. There are a lot many deficiencies, and you obviously is not, I mean, not you, I'm talking about that kind of, those kinds of, guys. So it's just like, this type of thing is going on, especially in Hyderabad. There are a lot many institutes, they have started giving this training. They would take somewhere around like 20 or 25 or 30,000 maximum. Some of them even are charging 15,000. And what you will think, अरे 15,000 कहाँ, 50, 65, 60,000 कहाँ? Why should I go with them? But this is what happens at the end of this. You just have wasted that money. You just have wasted. चलो पैसा तो फिर भी आ ही जाता है, but the time is more important. There is only one thing which is priceless in this universe is time. This is my observation of life. It is that single entity which cannot come back. Once it has gone, it's gone. Everything apart from that could come. Whichever you earn, I'm saying whichever you earn, time is the single entity in this, that single truth of the world, entire universe that comes down. If you have wasted time, that is the most, what to say. I'm not getting that. My vocabulary is going weak day by day. So that is that single entity which cannot come back. अब उनके साथ 5 महीने 4 महीने जो भी उन्होंने किया, that was whole shit, a bunch of shit, nothing. तो दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग राइट अराउंड। इसीलिए देखो, तुम देखो इतना समय लगता है ना मुझे, क्यों क्यों 1 साल, क्यों 8 महीना, क्यों 9 महीने, उसका आउटकम अलग रहता है। और 3 महीना 4 महीने का कोई आपको कॉपी और पेस्ट थोड़ी ना करके नॉलेज दे रहा है, उसको समझा रहा है, उसको बता रहा है, तो वर्क लगता है उसमें। तो इंटीग्रेशन इज फार बियॉन्ड दैट। सेल्सफोर्स टू सेल्सफोर्स इंटीग्रेशन इज जस्ट अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल ऑफ डिक्लेरेटिव इंटीग्रेशन। दो तरह के इंटीग्रेशन होते हैं, डिक्लेरेटिव जिसमें कोडिंग नहीं की जाती है, देयर आर लॉट मेनी टूल्स टू डू दैट। देयर आर लॉट मेनी टूल्स टू डू दैट, काफी सारे टूल्स होते हैं। जिटर बिट काफी कॉमन है इसमें, और म्यूलसॉफ्ट विच इज इंफॉर्मेटिका क्लाउड। यूजुअली जो हमारे डेटा साइंटिस्ट होते हैं, डेटा मैनेज, डेटा इंजीनियर्स, दे यूज दिस। मैंने काम किया है इंफॉर्मेटिका से, मैंने जिटर बिट के साथ और म्यूलसॉफ्ट के साथ। और फिर कुछ ऐप एक्सचेंज प्रोडक्ट्स भी होते हैं, हम कल इस पे मुझे याद दिलाओगे तो मैं आपको, आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू फ्यू ऑफ देम, जिसको जिसको आप इंस्टॉल करके एज एन पैकेज, मैनेज पैकेज रहते हैं, यू कैन इंस्टॉल देम and you can perform certain, up to certain, what to say, up to certain, integration. I'll show you one more thing. I mean, Outlook is also, Outlook Microsoft का product है, but that is again integrated with Salesforce, and it's entirely a non-coding thing. I can show you that, right? मैं आपको वो दिखा सकता हूँ because I have that integrations. It's not activated. Yeah. So this is connected. Okay. See, this is my, this is my Outlook account, and you can see Salesforce is in, I have integrated Salesforce with this, right? So if I wanted to, there are, I mean, there the scope is little limited over there. I can work on to contact object, lead object, account object, opportunity object, and event, of course. So for example, let's consider if I wanted to create, yeah, see, I can work on these standard objects of Salesforce: task, event, contact, opportunity, lead, account, case, and graph. These objects, they are standard object in the Salesforce. You know about that. They are integrated with they are integrated with Outlook. So from here in this, I can create a new event, for example, right? And when I would create that, although I'm creating it from the Outlook, it has an impression in the Salesforce. If I would create something over here, that is reflected in the Salesforce environment. So this means these two environment, the Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, is integrated with the Salesforce. And you can have this integration without writing a code. So this is again an example of declarative integrations, right? This is again an example of declarative integrations, right? So that is what is it does, it means. One example we are going to see by doing this Salesforce, which is a very small topic, just one day topic. And I haven't seen this in real time. I mean, as a topic, we are learning this. Don't want it to leave this. We don't want it to skip this. Rather, मेरे एंटायर करियर में मुझे तो याद नहीं कि मैंने कभी इस तरह से एक सेल्स फोर्स को दूसरे सेल्स फोर्स से इंटरकनेक्ट किया है, ठीक है? बट स्टिल बिकॉज दैट्स अ टॉपिक एंड इट्स अ गुड एग्जांपल ऑफ डिक्लेरेटिव एग्जांपल, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू स्किप दैट. लोगों ने तो यही पढ़ा के बोल दिया कि इंटीग्रेशन ही खत्म हो गया बॉस. अपन ऐसा नहीं करेंगे, अपन उसको अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है? सो दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. लेट मी स्टॉप द रिकॉर्ड.